YouTubers and scammers seemingly go hand in hand. Sometimes they get exposed and they get punished, and sometimes they get exposed and they don't get punished. Like Logan Paul, who has done like 20 scams now and still manages to not get punished. I don't know how. He's going for the record. In fact, I think he already has it. But let's take a look at YouTube's most notorious frauds and scammers. Another wonderful video by Wavy Webster. Let's have a look.
It's common these days to hear stories of YouTubers perpetrating scams and participating in fraud.
I would never scam you guys.
Exposing these delinquent creators makes for great online drama chat.
CoffeeZilla is one of my favorite YouTube channels now because he just exposes scams constantly, but they're so well researched, they're so well edited. CoffeeZilla is like the top echelon of YouTube right now. He's fantastic.
Very rarely do bad actors face legal punishment for their misdeeds. However, there does exist a small motley crew of YouTubers that have participated in fraud so severe that they actually received criminal charges, some of them landing behind bars. From an influencer accused of defrauding fans with a get-rich-quick scheme, to an automotive content creator caught scamming retired people, to a married couple faking dangerous car accidents for
I heard of
views.
this. I heard of that one. That was really bad. The last one was insane. Haven't heard of the other ones though.
YouTube fraudsters. A brief message from today's sponsor, Grammarly Go. It's time to improve your writing game with Grammarly Go. Grammarly Go is an AI service that offers generative personalized assistance and prompts to help refine your writing. And as someone who writes for a living, I can't recommend it enough. Here you can see I used Grammarly's AI to rephrase an introduction that I wrote for this very advertisement.
And it's way better.
I wanted the AI to rewrite my original manuscript in a more succinct and engaging style. And
so good.
In a matter of seconds, Grammarly Go cooks up a more compelling, attention-grabbing intro. And Grammarly Go can help you with more than just style and rewrites. You can use it to generate entire write-ups from scratch. Here I asked Grammarly Go to invite friends to a party in a casual and engaging tone. And it turns out the invite in seconds. Imagine the time you could
Wow, look at that.
Here's another use case. Say you were struggling to come up with a name for a true crime YouTube channel. Well, just ask Grammarly Go to come up with some for you to get the noggin jogging. And
let's see if they're good.
Some of these are actually
Crime Chronicles, Dark Matters, The True Crime Files, Sinister Tales, Murder Most Foul.
I've got dibs on Sinister Tales. You guys can make do with the rest. Look, I use Grammarly Go all the time to optimize writing and come up with ideas and to assist with brainstorming. And I highly recommend you check it out too. You'll be amazed at what you can do with Grammarly Go. Sign up at grammarly.com/wavy and get 20% off Grammarly.
20%?
This story
Surely
involves a YouTuber known for flexing his significant wealth in YouTube music videos and vlogs. The question by most of his fan base, though, was where did the money come from? In 2016, a man named Bill Omar Carrasquillo would create a YouTube channel called Omi Hellcat. The man's YouTube moniker being derived from the Dodge Hellcat, which was his preferred vehicle, and cars and flexing would be a keystone element to his YouTube persona.
I don't get why people need to buy like 8 cars. You might need 2 cars, you know, 3 cars if you're really into cars, but you don't need 8 cars. How don't you have to like buy insurance on all of them? And Patrick, you're never gonna drive 8 cars. Where are you gonna put all your 8 cars? Doesn't make sense.
His channel consisted of vlog-style content centering on his apparently lavish lifestyle.
I'm getting rid of a Rebel. I'm keeping a 150, and then I want to get a Cummins 350 to pull. Like, if I get a boat this year, I'll pull my boat, my jet skis. I will be getting a waterfront property this year. By next summer, you'll see in a vlog, we'll be riding jet skis, riding my own boat.
Why? It looks like he's in one of those like office cubicles where you just cold call people and ask them if they want to buy insurance from you. I don't understand. Why? What is he doing? Why is he in this place? Why is he saying that he's going to buy waterfront properties? What is going on? I don't know.
By next summer, you'll see in a vlog, we'll be riding jet skis, riding my own boat.
The focus of these videos varied, but wealth was always at the center. Some videos showcased his vast car collection, expensive jewelry, and luxurious properties.
Oh my god, look at that. Are those all his cars? That's ridiculous.
However, unlike Omi's colleagues in the YouTube clout vlogging space, his wealth didn't come from being an influencer. In fact, the source of that wealth was quite ambiguous to say the least. Most celebrity influencers are bragging about cribs and cars that they got from being an influencer from the beginning. But this wasn't.
That is never set right with me at all. I don't like it. Even the word like influencer just sits wrong. I understand that it's a completely accurate way to describe someone who makes content like that on the internet by making videos about how rich you are and just saying, look how rich I am. I've never been able to sit through one of them in its entirety. Not even if it's 4 minutes long. I just don't care. I don't care how many nice cars you have. It feels completely disingenuous. It's not fun to watch. I don't know who watches this kind of stuff apart from maybe 15-year-old boys that don't really know how the world works just yet, and they're like, oh, fun, fast car, whoa.
Wasn't the case with Omi. His money was a mystery. And what you find is that after doing a bit of digging into Omi's past, the dubious nature of his financial comeuppance becomes apparent. Omar is a man with a troubled past, to say the least. Omi had it rough as a youngster. His mother died from an overdose when he was a young boy, and his father was a cocaine dealer whose criminal activity eventually led to Omar moving back and forth through foster families for years. And eventually he would follow in the footsteps of his dad and become a drug dealer himself. Omar spent much of his 20s trafficking in drugs, which resulted in him being in and out of jail on numerous occasions.
Well, that might be where the money came from, unless he went straight and he just started making, like, music videos, I guess.
The man never would become Pablo Escobar, and his dabbling with drugs left him broke and with a criminal record.
I don't think anyone wants to be Pablo Escobar, but considering what happens. Like, yeah, he had a lot of money for a bit, but he did get tracked down by the Colombian police and shot on some random rooftop in the middle of the city, so not really an ideal situation to be in.
Spending a good amount of time in jail, Omi would become disillusioned with the drug world and his prospects, especially after he had his first son. And Omi, wanting to find a more stable source of income to raise his child, he fully left drug dealing behind in 2014 and attempted to find less blatantly illegal methods of making money.
To keep trajecting myself forward, I can't keep taking steps backwards. I'm not gonna sell no drugs. I'm not gonna, if it's potentially land me in jail, I'm not doing it.
But Omi wouldn't leave the life of crime entirely. Rather, he switched to something a little bit more difficult to detect.
Well, you know, if you're doing crime, you're selling cocaine, you got to scale it back, but, you know, you're not going to stop the crime entirely. You still want to make some money. So he's going to do less bad crimes. Instead of giving people cocaine that they can use to get high and get addicted to, we're gonna scam them instead. Technically, that is more morally good, so you're on the right direction.
Omi would pivot to a far more elaborate and lucrative form of criminality to pay the bills, and it all took place online. Over the next few years, Omi worked odd jobs to pay the bills and got proficient at online hustling in the world of web hosting. He had a particular interest in the underground Kodi community. Some of you might remember these Kodi Amazon Fire Stick devices from like the mid-2010s where you could essentially jailbreak them and play live streaming Netflix content on them with jailbreaking devices on your TV.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure my granddad had one of these. I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure my granddad has one. Am I snitching on my granddad by saying that?
After studying the TV piracy game for some time, Omi would use his savviness in the space to launch a cable television piracy empire. That empire being Gears TV. Gears TV was an IP...
Yo, it's actually Gears of War Marcus. That's sick. Okay, I have a lot more respect for him. That he had Gears of War TV with Marcus Phoenix on it. That respect level just went up by 10 right there.
TV streaming platform created by Omar himself. It was an
That's pretty sick, I'm not gonna
app that was accessible via Amazon Fire Stick. Gears TV hosted live...
Yo, it is straight up. This is so funny. This is like straight up 2007 Xbox 360 memes.
Streamed feeds of proprietary cable television networks.
Yo, you had UK channels as well?
Premium television channels for just $15 a month. The service allowed users to consume cable television, sports packages at a fraction of what a cable company would charge you. Omi illegally acquired this content by personally subscribing to cable TV providers and streaming services himself. Then he would use data encoders to bypass copy protection, allowing him to essentially restream paid cable content to viewers around the world. It was
pretty smart. Someone write that down. I would never do that. Pretty smart. He's a man of the people listening. He's providing the content at a much lower price because cable TV is far too expensive. We all know that the streamers these days, they're charging too much. There's not enough content on all of these different streamers, and they're all going up in price constantly. This man and the people provided all of it for $15. It was definitely illegal, though.
Value for thousands of subscribers, and needless to say, was extremely illegal. From 2016 to 2019, Gears TV would be the most successful of any service to employ the fraudulent tactic. It reportedly garnered over 100,000 subscribers and generated an estimated $34 million profit in the years that it operated. Gears TV made only a rich man, and it was the empire of cable television piracy that provided the wealth showcased in what would become the Omi and a Hellcat YouTube channel.
I'd say that doing that is less harmful than selling coke. I guess you could argue that stealing all the money from the original creators of the content is harming the people that work for those companies. But I mean, those companies are still big enough. It's like Netflix. It's like, they'll be all right. They'll be fine. Very illegal, though. Don't do illegal things.
But with a piracy empire this high-flying, it was only a matter of time before the feds got involved. With his YouTube channel running on all cylinders in the late 2010s, Omi would draw far too much attention to himself, and much in part to his braggadocious YouTube behavior, an investigation would eventually link the Gears TV piracy network to Omi himself. What followed this connection was a raid conducted by the FBI at Omar's residence.
Giving us any reason.
Annette, would you mind?
Jesus Christ.
The address so we can talk to her about explain what's going on?
Yeah, we'll get the rest.
I want to know what's going on.
I don't want to speak to anybody right now. I want to put on my pants and like. Do you want to get dressed?
She doesn't have pants on?
What are you guys looking for?
Oh, pants are different in America. It's like your trousers, isn't
We
it?
have a federal arrest warrant for Omar. We're gonna take him to the Philly FBI office. He's gonna get processed there, and then he'll have his initial court appearance later on today, like midday today.
I don't know how you could do that and not imagine it's going to come back to you eventually. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And that's where the judge will like give him a copy of the charges that are against him.
There's no way.
It's done. It's over. It's GG's.
What if I don't want to work?
Omar was arrested and his financial dockets audited. To make matters worse for the man, after an investigation of the paper trail around this Gears
Did he also get sued by Gears of War? Did he get sued by Epic Games for using the Gears of War icon and using Marcus Phoenix? That'd be the icing on the cake.
TV network, it was found that Omar had not been accurately reporting his income throughout the duration of the fraud.
No, really? He had a criminal empire stealing content from all of these different companies, and he wasn't correctly reporting his income too? No, he was doing tax evasion? No, really?
Making him guilty of tax evasion as well as piracy. Omar was facing charges ranging from copyright infringement to tax evasion, and he initially acted like he did nothing wrong.
So they came back for the things that they alleged that I did, the copyright infringement, which, you know, I don't think I ever did anything wrong. Obviously, I was running businesses wide open in the public. So now you just gotta see.
Omar,
That's so funny. He's like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I was stealing it, but I let everyone know that I was stealing it. I was stealing it, but I told everyone, and they didn't do anything about it. They didn't stop me. They didn't ask me to stop and not steal it. I think I was in the right here. You know what? I think we should take away some of his jail time just for saying that. That's kind of funny.
Omar would defend himself by saying that his actions were akin to watching movies with a group of friends at a party. Yeah, because, you know, showing live streamed feeds of cable networks to 100,000 people is totally the same as that, right?
Wait a minute. Aiden Ross streamed the Super Bowl on Kick, and he didn't get even a slap on the wrist. XQC streamed The Dark Knight and then Breaking Bad. No one cared. And that was to over 100,000 people. So what's the difference? That he was getting paid $15 a month? I'm sensing a double standard here.
Needless to say, Omi was coping hard. It's unclear if Omar was genuinely under this impression or if he was intentionally trying to not admit guilt in order to avoid harsh prosecution.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna say? Like, yeah, I'm guilty. You got me, coppers. I did it and I'd do it again as well. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of the crime. Everything you say I am, whatever you say I am.
After all, the man was facing up to 500 years in prison after each
What?
of the individual copyright infringement charges had been compiled together on an individual basis.
What?
Hell, I'd be playing dumb too in this case. However, later on in the process of this case, Omar would eventually state that he had a realization that his actions were wrong after viewing a documentary documentary about Pixar Studios. Apparently, this documentary making him realize that piracy affected the small guys behind these massive studios. After being formally arrested in September of 2021, Omar would plead guilty to his charges, and his trial would conclude in March of 2023. Omi Hellcat was ultimately sentenced to serve 5.5 years in federal prison.
All right, I mean, 1% of what you could have been given, I guess. No one ever gets the maximum sentencing unless you did something really, really horrific. 5.5 years in prison? I don't know, I feel like, is that too much? Am I just like against the whole copyright thing so much that I think that maybe you shouldn't deserve prison time? Maybe you get fined and the money taken away from you, you pay the money back, and then you get, you know, prison time, you get a criminal record, and you get punishment that way, you maybe do some community service. I feel like that's a lot of prison time. 500 years, obviously, way too much.
On top of paying back $30 million worth of assets that he had pocketed, $14 million in restitution to the service providers that he had stolen from, and $5.7 million for backed taxes. Omar officially began serving his time on May 8th of 2023. Omi's last action before entering custody was arranging the construction of a smaller home for his family, so that they would have a place to live after his expensive properties were sold off to pay backed taxes.
Oh man, that's kind of sad actually. I mean, he had a rough upbringing. I can totally understand the perspective of, I'm gonna make this subscription service so that you can watch things online. Like, I mean, I don't really care that much, but I guess you could say that it still does affect the smaller animators that work for these kind of companies. These kind of companies are pretty big though, and they charge a lot. It's not good, but maybe the punishment was a bit too much. I don't know.
The channel still exists to this day and sits at over 800,000 subscribers.
I don't really feel bad that he got punished. I feel bad that he had a really rough go of it in life, and he could have been doing some more harmful things. Not that it makes it okay though. Of course it doesn't make it okay. How would you feel if I successfully stole your content and then charged people for it, making a lot of money you lose out on? Honestly, from my perspective as a YouTuber, I don't care if people use my content for anything. Charging for it would be weird considering it's free online anyway, so no one would even pay for it to begin with. I think it'd be kind of funny if you downloaded my YouTube video and then said, hi, you can watch this YouTube video if you pay $5, because everyone would just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, I'm gonna do that, obviously. And from my perspective, you can use any clips from my streams, any clips from my videos, you can upload them, use them in your content, you can do whatever you want, you can upload clips, I don't care. Any of my content that I make, you can do anything that you want with. It would be weird for me to say anything otherwise because I literally make streams reacting to other people's content. And I'm not gonna lie, of course, most of the hard work that is on this channel comes from other people, hard work that other people did. And then I'm like, hey, can I react to this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, thanks. And I really appreciate that. So it'd be really hypocritical of me to say that you can't use my content and anything else because I use other people's content on a daily basis. So yeah, if you want to do anything with my streams, videos, or whatever, you can do whatever you want.
Omi has a dedicated fan base that likely will stick around to see what he's up to after his prison stint. Hopefully, he focuses more time on building his YouTube empire and
was his music good?
From the cable television piracy game.
Yeah, I think he's learned his lesson by this point, to be honest.
Involves an influencer accused of doing one of the scummiest things imaginable as a social media star.
It's good makeup, though.
Your own fans out of money.
That's
Kayla
not okay.
Masa was an Instagram personality and YouTuber that posted vlog and lifestyle content detailing their day-to-day life.
100K subs, pretty good.
Modern influencer shit. Selfies, storytime videos, flexing, you know the drill. And you might be asking, well, what makes Kayla Masa special in the world of social media frauds? Well, it all has to do with a bizarre series of posts in which the influencer offers money-making opportunities to her fans. In the midst of Kayla's routine content, one would find images of the woman holding large stacks of money and videos of the woman showcasing her.
Everything lit. If you got a bank account and are interested in making legal money, hit me up ASAP. If you got a bank account, that's the prerequisite. That's a pretty easy way to get into this, to be honest. Was it gonna be like money laundering? I remember they used to do money laundering on Turkish Twitch by giving a lot of bits and subscriptions to a Turkish streamer where they make a ton of money, and then the Turkish streamer would then give the money back to whoever had gifted them in the first place, and then they take a cut from it.
herself receiving massive withdrawals of cash from ATMs. Writing accompanying said content would urge fans to send her a text message if they wanted to make money like this themselves. One post read, "If you're from South Jersey, have a bank account, and trying to make some quick, easy money, direct message me."
This just sounds like a organ harvesting thing. It's like, come meet me at this location in a dark alley at 2 a.m. Bring no friends. You don't need your liver, do you?
Upon posting these sort of mysterious call to arms for the fans to make money, some would, of course, message the woman. In messages, Kayla would then coerce the more trusting of her fans to give over their bank account details, with the promise that
What?
if they gave her their banking account informations, don't worry about the details, we'll get you some money. Now, most of you are like, who the f would actually do this?
There's no way people are this dumb. Just give me your bank account number and sort code, and you'll get $50,000. All I need is the bank account number, your sort code, your credit card number, and the 3 wacky digits on the back.
And many who got to this point in the text message interaction were like, "F it, I'm out of here." But as we all know, some on social media aren't the brightest bunch, and they would keep entertaining Kayla's sketchy requests. Sadly, those who engaged with Kayla never learned any infinite money ATM glitches. Rather, they found themselves screwed by an influencer that they looked up to. Reports say that Kayla Masa was involved in a criminal operation consisting of numerous individuals who were orchestrating an intricate banking scam. This is how it worked. Authorities say that some of those involved in this scam worked at auto-related businesses in the New Jersey area, such as Factory Tune Auto Repairs, Joel's Auto Technology, Goody's Automotive, as well as
I'm excited to see how this works.
dealership locations.
Because just having someone's bank account information, I guess it means you can make purchases with that, but that'd be clocked onto really quickly and probably shut down, right? Why is it all to do with car companies?
It's alleged that through these connections, Kayla was able to get access to blank checks and money orders with the names of these businesses on them. Kayla, using her social media, would then trick her fans to hand over their banking information under the premise of a get-rich-quick scheme. Authorities claim that the woman would then forge a check from one of these auto businesses, issue the check to one of her fan bank accounts, then immediately withdraw these stolen funds from the fan bank account, her and the criminal group around her pocketing all of the proceeds.
Oh my god, okay, so there's the business, you get a blank check from the business, somehow, using criminal means, then it goes into the fan's bank account because you have the bank account information, then you make a withdrawal from that bank account and keep the money. So it doesn't link back to you. But of course it would link back to you, because there's messages showing that you are asking for the guy's bank account number, and then all of a sudden, a crime happens. What do they think is gonna be the case? How do they think? Are they just dumb, or am I missing something? How does this work? How do you not get caught immediately doing this?
She profits, the business loses, and it appears as if one of her fans were responsible for the theft. You gotta admit, it's a pretty intricate yet brazenly stupid scheme.
Yeah, it's dumb, because you just asked for their bank account information and they have all of these messages showing that you did it. This is so dumb.
By the time that the businesses would catch wind and cancel the bad checks, Kayla would have already had the money withdrawn. It's been reported that some of the fans who got tricked were made to owe upwards of $1,000 thanks to the scam. Once these duped followers realized what had happened, they found themselves blocked by Kayla on social media. It's said that at the height of their banking scheme, Kayla and her motley crew of social media swindlers had taken up to $1.5 million from businesses and fans collectively.
Wait, so if they did it 1,000 at a time and there was 1.5 million, there's no way they did that 15,000 times. What? Am I counting wrong? Is that 1,500? Is that 1,500? 1,500? It's 1,500. It's not 150. Is it 150? No, it's 1,500. Okay, they did it 1,500. That's still so many. 1,500 people they did this to if it was 1,000 a time on average. That's insane. That's so many people.
Though, as Kayla continued to push these scam bait posts on her main social media account, it would only be a matter of time before defrauded fans and businesses would report the woman and her apparent criminal syndicate to authorities. Following reports made by fans and businesses, authorities soon reached out to the names written on these phony checks, leading to the whole operation being uncovered. The evidence against Kayla was substantial, from direct messages exchanged with victims to bank accounts and United States Postal Service records of the money order transaction.
I don't understand it. There will be hundreds upon hundreds of fans that have direct messages from you, all from the exact same person, that you are trying to get their bank account information so that you can do this scam. Then the money comes from the fan's bank account. How do you not know that this is gonna happen before you start? I don't understand. How can you plan out all of this and not realize what will immediately happen?
Actions. And there was also the fact that Kayla suddenly became extremely wealthy, with the woman flexing and showcasing expensive items in her influencer content. Where did that come from, I wonder? Kayla Masa was arrested in February of 2020 and her criminal case is still pending. She's facing fraud charges for the $1.5 million allegedly stolen. And it's likely that she won't be the only individual legally wrapped up, as there were many accomplices in this operation.
Wait, this whole scam was for $1.5 million, which is so much money. So if she's arrested, why is Logan Paul still running around? He scammed his fans out of easily more than 1.5 million. He had an NFT scheme, he had a Dink Doink coin, he had Crypto Zoo, he had so many NFTs. Sure, how is he still walking around right now? I don't understand.
Many YouTubers have been accused and exposed for creating fake stunts and pranks to get YouTube views and engagement. But the channel featured in this next story really takes faking it to the next level, where it ends up becoming fraud in the process and those responsible getting charged. It all begins with a YouTube channel known as Blue Ghost. Blue Ghost posted hundreds of recordings of car accidents captured from dashcam footage. Dashcam crash video footage is a popular niche on YouTube, with thousands of these crash videos boasting view counts in the millions. Now,
what I've learned is that Russia is really bad for this. Russia, everybody has a dash cam in Russia and everyone always crashes in Russia. Like, it happens so often. There's so many Russian dash cam footages.
It goes without saying that capturing video of a car crash is kind of like an incidental thing. It's uncommon to witness a car crash in person, and
oh my god!
It's rare to have a camera or dash cam on ready to film it. Most crash videos on YouTube are simply one-off uploads that someone just happened to catch and throw on the internet. However, Blue Ghost was a peculiar channel.
There is ways to get yourself a YouTube channel that's popular in a niche, right? You start uploading things and you start uploading the same thing because people view something, they subscribe, and they want to see the same thing over and over again. Take example. This is a reaction channel. People want to see me react to things. My main channel is a Pokemon channel. People want to see Pokemon content. How does your niche become getting into car accidents constantly? You have to think, if you're in a car accident, there's a very good chance that it's not your fault. Someone may have crashed into you, someone didn't signal, someone turned at the wrong time, etc. If you get into 15 car accidents and they're all on the same channel, it's all you, maybe the common denominator is that you are the problem.
Featured a curiously high amount of original dashcam crash footage. Like, the owner of this channel appeared to be witnessing and recording crashes on a weekly basis almost. Blue Ghost footage was posted with the claim that it was really the creator themselves behind the wheel, the identity of the individual not known at the time. It said that 23 of the channel's uploads were directly tied to collisions that Blue Ghost themselves had been in.
Why? Why would you make your niche getting into car accidents? There's so many other things that you can do. Talk about the car's wheels, do tech reviews. 23 videos of you getting into a car accident just means that you shouldn't be driving. They should look at this, look at your channel and say, actually, no more driver's license for you. We're taking it away. No more driving. You don't get to anymore.
Oh, Jesus Christ, baby.
What?
Yeah, fresh cold water at all.
Dude, there's a baby in the back. This is insane. Okay, do you really need to hold the horn down that long? Is that really necessary?
The sheer frequency of Blue Ghost crashes uploaded to the channel created a spectacle within the dashcam community on YouTube. Many online dissected Ghost's recordings, and some ridiculed the uploader for their poor driving, while others suspected that there was something more nefarious going on. How could one guy be in so many car crashes?
He's just so unlucky.
I thought that the wrecks featured in Blue Ghost videos were in fact not accidents, with some claiming that the crashes could have been perhaps staged in an effort to create dramatic YouTube content and raise.
Maybe. but only in, say, a car park. I would say on a highway, I don't think it's gonna be staged.
And ad revenue in the process. Bizarrely enough, what the YouTube community would eventually come to find is that yes, the Blue Ghost crashes were setups, but the staging of the accidents wasn't for clout or YouTube views. The true purpose of these crashes was
insurance
far
fraud?
more intricate and nefarious.
Is
It
insurance
was
fraud?
eventually revealed that the individuals behind the Blue Ghost account were a married couple, Christopher and Kimberly Phelps from Ucapa, California, and their online crash videos were merely a byproduct of an insurance fraud scheme that they had been participating in. The fraud went
Let's
as
go!
follows. Christopher and Kimberly would record themselves driving and intentionally cause car accidents in a manner where they could paint the other driver as the faulty party and collect insurance money. They purposely put their
That's so
vehicle-
dangerous. Why would you do that? There's so many easier ways to do insurance fraud. Why would you put your child at risk? Awful parent, terrible parent.
precarious scenarios and tried to get other people to hit them. And they would use their footage as evidence against those who hit them, and they would also upload it to YouTube as well. The couple got away with their scheme for years until they eventually flew too close to the sun.
Why did they upload it to YouTube? Why do people continually post themselves doing crimes? I don't understand this new wave of we're gonna record ourselves doing crimes and we're gonna post it on the internet. It's gonna be really good. I suppose it's making it easier for the justice system to arrest them, right? But it doesn't make sense to me. Don't post your
In
crimes.
February of 2023, the couple would conduct yet another one of their stunts. While driving, Christopher stopped his vehicle in the middle of the road for seemingly no reason, resulting in him being rear-ended by a truck. The man would report the accident to police and went through the channels of defrauding insurance. However, after looking at the nature of the collision,
British police
became
be like,
suspicious of what had happened and suspected that Christopher may have intentionally caused the accident. Meanwhile, footage of this accident was soon posted to the Blue Ghost YouTube channel. A tip would lead to the sheriff's department discovering this vast back catalog of car crash content. A back catalog that they found extremely suspicious. An investigation was opened and Christopher was soon arrested and charged with 2 felonies. Assault with a
You could speedrun this case. They literally posted all their crimes. You don't need to do anything. No investigation needed. This is why there are no more detectives. You don't need them anymore. Everyone's posting their crimes. You don't need anyone to go and investigate things. You don't need evidence. In fact, the evidence is already there.
deadly weapon and causing a crash for a false insurance claim. After the arrest, the Blue Ghost YouTube channel would be removed from the platform, and police were given copies of the videos to use as evidence. After looking into records and cross-referencing footage on the Blue Ghost channel, it was revealed that between the two, the couple had filed 17 false insurance claims since July of 2020. 42 videos on their channel were determined to be
42?
intentionally risky, and 23 captured collisions.
Why would the insurance continually pay this out, though? Surely by the time it hits 17 claims, you're just like, all right, well, there's something fishy about this. How do you continually, and only you, continually, to get in these accidents all the time? How do you get 17 claims? No one's that unlucky. Surely, even in the worst part of the most brain-dead part of America, no one's that bad at driving, surely.
Matters worse, in some of the videos, the couple's child was present.
This is insane.
The child being present in some of the videos and the sheer scale of the fraud that was being committed resulted
Jail.
in Kimberly being arrested as well. Christopher was charged with an additional 32 felonies after police had performed a full investigation. 6 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, 11
What?
counts of insurance
Assault with a deadly, oh, a car. Right, no, that makes sense.
fraud, and 5 counts of child endangerment. His wife Kimberly was separately charged with 3 felonies, 1 count of insurance fraud, and 2 counts of child endangerment.
Oh, she got off pretty light, didn't she? She only got 1 of insurance fraud.
Each had bail set at $500,000, and to this day, the case is still being processed. It
Oh, they
goes
gotta go to
without
jail,
saying
surely.
that the behavior showcased by Kimberly and Christopher is extremely disturbing. Not only was this a scam that was attempting to fleece innocent drivers out of money, it's actually miraculous that there wasn't a serious injury in the dozens of crashes that they intentionally caused.
Yeah, if you're gonna do insurance fraud, please Leave your child with your gran, leave your child with the cousin, leave your child with the aunt or the uncle, leave your child with the dog or the cat. It's safer than if you're going out and crashing into cars on purpose.
According to a press release published in May of 2023, both Christopher and Kimberly have been convicted of their crimes. Christopher was sentenced to serve 3 years in state prison. His wife, Kimberly, was sentenced to serve 90 days in Weekend County Jail work release, 3 years of supervised probation, and a 52-week child abuse prevention program. One can only hope that this couple's time in the
child abuse prevention program, they're gonna sit her down and be like, okay, guys, if you're going to purposely crash your car, don't have your child in it. And she's like, I don't understand. Like, this is really difficult. This is really tough. I don't know how to not endanger my child. It's super hard. I need 52 weeks of this, so that I can really nail it into my brain that I shouldn't be crashing cars on purpose with my kid in the vehicle. Doesn't make any sense.
The clink will serve as a deterrent to potential future dangerous accident staging behavior. This next story involves a YouTuber found guilty of defrauding people out of retirement money. In the mid-2010s, a YouTuber known as Gas Kings rose to popularity. If the name wasn't a giveaway already, the British creator focused on content exclusively surrounding vehicles. This channel was created and front-run by a man named Anthony Locke. The channel featured Anthony and his friends driving souped-up and modded vehicles. With high speeds and
wait, is that British license plates? Are they British?
burning rubber being thematic backdrops to this channel, Anthony Locke and the Gas Kings collaborators would upload for 3 years and became legendary within the automotive space on YouTube, amassing a massive subscriber base of close to 700,000 subs.
He's huge! He's got more subscribers and views than I do.
And this is in the mid-2010s, which is like really impressive for that time. However, unbeknownst to the public, behind the tuned-up automotive antics, Anthony had long been partaking in a far more scandalous and lucrative venture. A venture that would end up with aging retirees scammed and Anthony in prison. Prior to the start of the Gas Kings YouTube channel,
you should go to prison for longer if you're scamming retirees. That's just not fair. Like, it's like playing scamming on easy mode or like very easy mode. If you're gonna do scamming, you have to do it with at least middle-aged people because then it's harder. Elderly people, you have to go to prison for longer. This is why people like Kit Boga exist, where he talks to scammers for like 5 hours straight when he pretends and he poses to be a really old person.
Anthony and his business partner, Ray King, had created a website known as Successful Pensions.
His name is Ray King?
Successful Pensions website and service marketed itself as a means of withdrawing money from one's retirement fund without penalty before the age of 55.
Why are you doing this when you have a YouTube channel where you can post videos like top 10 car wash fails and get 6 million views? This was back in the day where you made like insane money off ad revenue as well before the first adpocalypse. Why do you need to scam old people? People are so greedy. I swear to God, they don't deserve YouTube channels.
That he could offer these pensioners a 50% upfront payout and that the remainder of their retirement funds would be invested into a business called Nature Eco Investments, where the money would accrue additional value as the stock price of this business rose.
You might as well just call the business like really good investments or super lots of money investments.
The premise of Nature Eco Investments was quoted as being planting trees, creating new forests with carbon sinks that absorb CO2, purchasing existing wild forests to protect them, and the wide range of biodiversity within them.
Yeah, how are you making money off protecting the climate? You know protecting the climate doesn't make money. How are you gonna make money by purchasing forests and protecting and planting trees? You think that's gonna go up? You think that stonks?
So Anthony was offering a service where a pensioner, a retiree, would be like, hey, I need my money now, I can't wait till 55. He gives them 50% of their pension up front, as long as they put the other 50% in this business that no one really knows anything about and was just created recently. Seems a bit sus, right? Now, for many who are retired and going through a hard time, they can't wait till the age of 55, and a service like this is quite tantalizing to say the least.
How do you retire before 55?
Offering someone their retirement money in advance is a classic scam. Pensions are created to only be tapped into after a person is of retirement age and incapable of working. In the United Kingdom, accessing a pension early results in the earner being penalized 55% in tax of that that money. Successful pensions attempted to convince their victims that they could get around this tax problem by lying to their original pension providers, stating that they were now employed by the company that Anthony Locke had created. Under the premise that they were working and no longer retired, you can move around your retirement, so what they would do
Tax
is
scam.
essentially try to move their pension to Anthony's company. This being done tax-free.
It's crazy because I'm sitting here like, oh, that's not a bad idea. And I'm like, wait, no, that's illegal. You don't want to do that.
But this was extremely illegal. You can't do this.
You're not
And that's
allowed to
even
do
the worst
that.
of it. The truly insidious element of this operation was that Anthony Locke and Ray King would pocket the money that was supposedly going to be invested in their company by these pensioners by sending it to offshore bank accounts owned by Anthony's mother and former business partner. Anthony Locke and Ray King created a slew of fake documents to convince the world of the legitimacy of their startup businesses. And they ran the entire operation under aliases.
Did they even try and like plant some trees? Like you could at least balance out the morality of this. You're gonna scam some elderly people, so you're bad morale, bad morality. But then you balance the karma by planting trees to save the world. Then it becomes a little bit more equal. I think you'd have to plant a lot of trees to balance out the scamming of old people though.
The two men preyed on those most vulnerable. People who would solicit Locke's services were naturally in dire financial circumstances. These included people that had suffered injuries that prevented them from working, a business owner whose company was actively
How do you
collapsing,
sleep at night, man?
and a woman who had become homeless following her divorce. After taking
What?
part and getting their first 50% upfront payout, each had their remaining 50% of their total pension siphoned off by Anthony and his accomplices. The money
That's
never
so
being
evil.
seen again. This
That's so
organized
evil,
scam
what?
was active from September of 2013 to April of 2014.
Oh, was this before the YouTube? Was this before he even had a YouTube channel? They must have gotten arrested later then.
Ending just before the creation of Anthony Locke's primary
was.
Gas King YouTube account. It would be nearly 5 years before the scandal was unearthed, after the full financial burden had fallen on its victims, and the investing portion of the scam that his victims had been promised was outed as a sham.
What kind of evil, degenerate slug troglodyte do you have to be to scam an old lady that just got divorced and was homeless and taken off our money? How could you do that? How could you? I mean, not to be like the how can you sleep at night, Andy, but still, how could you? It's so evil.
Lid was eventually blown on this entire scheme, and Anthony Locke and his accomplice Ray King would be arrested. An investigation would show that the duo had scammed 16 people out of a total of nearly 1 million British pounds, which was approximately 1.3 million USD at the time. Some of the money that was scammed was actually used to purchase some of the expensive vehicles that would inevitably be featured on the Gas King's YouTube channel, such as an Audi R5 and R8, an Aston Martin
You
Vantage,
piece of shit.
a Mercedes B180, and a Porsche 911. After the full extent of his crimes were revealed, Anthony Locke was charged with 23 counts of fraud and 3 counts of money laundering. Ray King was charged with 14 counts of fraud. In April
Did he do the other 9 by
2018,
himself?
the media began to funnel the story onto the internet, where audiences of the Gas King's channel discovered the situation for the first time. Needless to say, fans were completely shocked and disappointed. In 2018, Anthony Locke, the Gas King himself, was sentenced to serve 5 years in jail, while
5 years. Yeah, no, he deserves it.
in a month following a guilty verdict. To add insult to injury, Gas King's YouTube channel has been deleted from the platform. Unfortunately,
That's funny. I didn't realize that YouTube would delete your account for scamming people off the platform. I guess maybe it depends. I guess maybe if you just get arrested in general, YouTube will delete your account. But sometimes they also leave it up when other YouTubers are caught for doing crimes and bad things. They won't touch the YouTube channel. I guess it's just a case-by-case basis.
I'm unable to ascertain if Anthony Locke is still behind bars, but needless to say, it's sad to see someone take advantage of people in rocky financial circumstances the way the Gas King did.
Well, if it was 5 years, he probably got out a bit early on good behavior, so he's probably out and about. Watch out if there's any Gas King YouTube channels out there. Be careful, it could be the scammer.
This next story is a glimpse into the life of a man who just might be America's most notorious police impersonator. A man infamous for a video of him being caught red-handed going viral on YouTube. This is the story of Jeremy DeWitt. Jeremy DeWitt, born and raised in Central Florida, has been strangely obsessed with the idea of becoming a cop since childhood. And as a teenager, his attempts at appearing as if he was a cop would get him in legal trouble. In 1998, at the age
Did he ever consider like actually trying to just be a police officer and not pretending to be a police officer? Surely he tried to actually be a police officer at one point.
of 17, Jeremy reportedly added police lights to his vehicle and attempted
What?
to get free gasoline while posing as a police officer. This
What?
incident was
Wait a minute! I thought he was all about the law. He wants to be a police officer. They're all about protecting the law, aren't they? Well, you're not supposed to steal when you're a police officer. I think anyone that wants to be a police officer that bad, they're like frothing at the mouth to be a police officer, you shouldn't be allowed to be one. Because why do you want to be one that bad? What is it about policing that you want to do so badly? Is it the arresting? Is it the throwing people on the grounds? Like, what is it about it that you want to be, that you're so hyped about?
reported to actual police, resulting in Jeremy DeWitt's first police impersonation charge. Jeremy would continue to impersonate police into adulthood. He was hit with related charges in both 2001 and 2003, and as a result, Jeremy received a felony conviction and was given jail time. Jeremy's sentence would be extended by 4
You think he went into prison and he was like, no, you have to put me into a different area. They're gonna be after me because I'm an officer.
additional years after it was discovered that he had violated parole, and around this time it was found that Jeremy had engaged in lewd acts with a minor.
What?
Naturally, this increased his time in jail and he was made to register as a sex offender.
I'm starting to think this guy isn't a very nice person.
Finally, after getting out of jail as a result of these crimes, it appeared as if Jeremy DeWitt was on the straight and narrow path. After getting out, the man created his own business where he operated a private funeral procession service, where him and his employees would guide funeral attendees and clear out traffic on the drive from a funeral home to a person's burial site. This business would eventually become Metro State Special Services. At Metro State, Jeremy and his employees wore uniforms that bore an uncanny resemblance to that of policemen and vehicles that looked like official police cars.
This guy just really wants to, he's really into role playing. This is a grown man that just loves to role play. He wants to go out there and RP his heart out. He's a LARPer. It is cool.
I think you can see where this story is going. Jeremy's company's name, the police vehicles, the uniforms, it seemed like after getting out of jail for committing police impersonation, it seemed like the man was leaning back into his old habits. Take, for example, the Metro State Company badge. This badge closely resembled the official design of the Los Angeles Police
Oh my god, it's the same.
band's Metro State vehicles were black and white in color like a cop.
Yo, those purple lights are kind of sick though. Was that BMW motorcycle? Where did he get the funds for this? I'm sorry, how do you get out of prison? This doesn't make sense to me. You get out of prison, you've been in there for 6 years, you're on the child abuse list, and you can just afford to start a business with all of these cars and motorcycles, and you can hire employees? Where do you get the money from? I don't understand.
Car featuring Metro State
Purple lights are really
symbolism on
sick.
the side. His emblems fixed in a way where one might find the city and department name on a police cruiser. Metro State members wore gray, reflective, or dark blue uniforms. While these didn't match the brown and white shirts of Florida police specifically, it was undeniable that the Metro State dress code resembled the silhouette of real police. The disturbing reality of Jeremy's activities were that while he was actually operating a legit funeral procession service, in his extracurricular time, he was posing as a policeman and using his gear and vehicles to do this. And we know this because Jeremy actually recorded himself with the police body cam in the process.
What? He got a police body cam? Did he have a police scanner as well? Maybe he just wanted to be a superhero.
Hi. How are you today?
Jeremy has been detained multiple times since the formation of
Mental
Metro
issues.
State, under the
Severe
suspicion
mental
of him
issues.
impersonating law enforcement.
Get out of the way. Move your fuck.
What is he doing, man?
Go out of the way!
Oh, it's a power trip.
Was causing
It is 100% a power trip. Nah, I'm convinced. He's completely mentally broken, brain broken, and he just wants to go on a power trip. He just wants to have that feeling of superiority over someone else, wants to be able to tell them what to do, yell at them, throw them around and stuff like that. But he wasn't even allowed to become a police officer. He wasn't even good enough to be an American police officer.
so many problems for the local police that he was on a first-name basis with actual officers in town.
Who is this guy? Oh, that's Jeremy right there?
Ah, it's fucking Jeremy again. Here he comes. Now his little motorcycle. Come on, Jeremy.
In interaction with police, Jeremy would reveal to them that he filmed his activities with a body camera. This made them think that he was committing more police impersonation than they actually realized. This admission would result in a warrant being filed to get access to Jeremy's video content. This warrant was granted and painted a better picture of the true scope of Jeremy's police impersonation activities. Needless to say, this evidence would be used against Jeremy in the trials that he inevitably faced. After Jeremy's body cam footage was added to public court records, it was discovered by an independent journalist named Jay Horowitz. This individual would publish some of Jeremy's body cam footage to the Real World Police YouTube channel.
How many times is he gotten arrested?
A local Florida oddity would go viral after his footage was published to YouTube, making the man a pariah within the true crime and law enforcement communities online. Jeremy's embarrassing body cam footage made him into a living—
Why does he wear a body cam? This is so dumb. I know he wants to roleplay as a police officer and all that, but you'd think that he would— again, posting your crimes. What is this obsession with posting crimes? I don't understand.
Meme, and not the good kind of living meme. Jeremy claims that he was being treated unfairly by the public
What?
and was being stalked as a result of the viral body cam footage. In the
Really?
wake of his living meme hood, Jeremy would create his own YouTube channel to add to the discourse that had begun to break out online. But needless to say, few were willing to hear him out. On top of the police impersonation charges, it was found that Jeremy failed to re-register as a sex offender, so he got additional punishment for that as well. After all of Jeremy's wrongdoings had been tallied in court, the man was facing 85 years in prison. But
He's not gonna get that, no way.
Face this much time. Jeremy DeWitt would ultimately accept a plea deal that reduced his sentence to 18 months.
18 months. It's crazy the range between maximum sentences and like the actual sentences that you get are. He's back in prison. He's not very good at being a police officer, this Jeremy, I swear.
That he shut down Metro State and forgo firearms, security vehicles, and anything else such as uniforms that would aid him in impersonating law enforcement.
Wait, he went to jail for 6 years for sexually offending a minor and pretending to be a police officer, and he was still allowed to use firearms after that?
The man was also forbidden from operating social media. Jeremy DeWitt would serve his time and was released in August of 2022. However, after being released, the man began posting videos to his YouTube channel, Metro State. An act which violated the terms of his parole. Because of
what is he
Jeremy
doing?
was compelled to return to prison on the 30th of November. And as far as we know, Jeremy remains there to this day.
I don't understand it. Does he just like being in prison? Obviously, there's severe mental issues going on here, but does he just like prison?
Media attention surrounding Jeremy has died down in recent times, but a recent press release states that he was charged with insurance fraud in January of 2023.
Of course.
The charge apparently stemming from old dealings.
He's trying to speedrun every single crime. He's trying to do every crime.
If Jeremy is found guilty on these new insurance-related charges, the man could face upwards of 75 years in prison.
Nah, he's not gonna get that.
To be said about Jeremy DeWitt, it's that old habits die hard, and even if this man does serve his time, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him face to face with legal issues again.
Yeah, he's gonna end up back in there. Imagine being one of the employees for the funeral procession service that he opens. Imagine just like going in, getting a job, being like, yeah, no, I ride a motorcycle with a dead body behind me every now and then, and this is your boss.
One of the most infamous police impersonators in history. That was the story of Jeremy DeWitt.
That's absolutely insane. Well, thank you, Wavy Web Stuff, again for another fantastic video. As we all know, they are amazing. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already to them, and if you want me to react to something, just leave it in the Discord server. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.